Hey everyone, hope you had an amazing week as usual. Now last week I built up my brand new 2023 inspired Hex. Now I've actually had it for a little while. I was a little bit late building up, but better late than never. It makes total sense now, however, to come and give it a try, see how it rides. And I'm here at a bunch of rocks which I've not ridden for the longest time. I think it was during lockdown was the last time I rode here. I completely forgot it existed, but today I remembered and I kind of fancied trying it out. I rode this bike for the first time at a clan demo at the weekend and it's feeling good, but it's still far from being bedded in. The brakes are still knocking because the pads hadn't won into the pistons. I don't know what is the prime tire pressure yet, so I need to work on that. But so far the bike is feeling pretty sweet. There is one disclaimer before I start riding though. I am slightly injured and feeling very, very rusty. I actually went and rode a bike which I've built but not actually put on the channel yet, and for the first ride I ended up eating absolute crap, and I didn't even film it, but essentially I got skewered by the handlebar in my groin. Now it didn't actually go in me, but it's given me what looks like online from the description and my symptoms, a nice hematoma. So I've got basically a lump in my groin from blood that has piled up. So it's feeling pretty nasty, but it's definitely feeling better than it was. So with that out of the way, let's hop on this bike and have a ride. Okay, so the bike is riding pretty well. It's really nice to ride that spot again. However, there's one thing that was really annoying me, and that was just how kind of clunky and noisy the bike is. Even though I felt like I was riding smooth, the bike made it sound like I was riding really, really harshly. So I went home and I've made a couple of changes. In the build video, I fitted Inspired's new chain tensioner, and I said I was going to give it a good try, but I had my suspicions that the chain was going to be slightly baggy and give me lots of chain slap. I wonder whether that system would work better with 22/16 gear ratio like they run on the 24s, but with 22/18 I had just a slack enough chain that there was quite a lot of movement there, and I was getting chain slap, which I can't stand. So I've put on my homemade titanium tensioner, and I know this thing works. It's great to have it back on the bike, and the tension now is really, really good. I've managed to get like 3 or 4 links out the chain, so it's a little bit lighter as well. So sorry Inspired, I'm sure the tensioner is awesome. I just prefer mine. The other thing I've done is to do the brakes. The pads, like I mentioned, were clunking in the caliper. New pads, they don't have like the paint worn off the back, they don't have the dents that the pistons put in to hold the pads in place. So new pads on brakes tend to clunk forwards and backwards as the wheel changes direction, and yeah, the bike was doing that a lot. Now I could wait a few weeks for the pads to develop like small micro dents in the back for the pistons to grab onto, but I'm impatient. So I did one of my trials hacks. I made a video on this a while ago, and I just wanted to put a bit of tape on the back of the pads to give the pistons something to grip onto, and it's worked quite well. The downside is, for now, the brakes are actually rubbing a bit because it's pushed the pads out just a tiny amount, but the more I ride it, the more that should go away and everything should run quieter. So with that out the way, I've now come to another spot which I've not ridden for a while, which is a staple in my videos for ages. It's under the Kingston Bridge, my wet weather riding spot, which is no longer here. I haven't been here for so long. This used to be concrete blocks all the way down there, and they're gone. I've just been left with these two here, which aren't actually that great to ride. I'm going to have an explore up there to see if there are any more, but for now I'm still going to have a warm up on these and see how I get on with the new quieter bike. see the body position on it up to front then. Wild. Oh, let my foot go on that then. Well, the plan is, Glasgow is so noisy, but the plan is stop it in, two-wheel side up to rear wheel, kind of hold it if I can, but certainly no hops, and then send it kind of alley-oop to front wheel on the other one, and then either continue that spin or do like a regular spin. It'll make sense if I can get it, which so far I'm struggling to. I keep on landing in a hole. Stop going in that hole. It's something, but it wasn't executed to my preferred standards, let's put it that way. I have been at this for ages. I thought this was going to be like pretty much a warm-up clip, but I've probably had like 100 attempts at that now. I wanted to continue that spin around, but I may have to just accept a fakie out of it. There was no excess hops, it was pretty smooth, but I did want more. Oh dear, it is warm today. Come on. That's more like it. You won't believe the number of tries that took. I honestly thought that was going to be like maybe 10 attempts. 200 tries later, I finally got it how I wanted to get it. But I'm glad I persevered because that last one was definitely the best one and it's pretty much exactly what I wanted. So I'm either really determined or really stubborn. Take your pick. I know which one I am. So that last line, doing a manual up this, manual down to kind of spin up, then stoppy down, took so long, which I think is the story of my life at the minute. And it didn't even look that good upon reviewing. Certainly it didn't look as good as I was hoping it was going to look. I actually had a few attempts and that was the best one. And I can't be bothered doing it again because that took so long, but quite fun. These blocks are the ones that were over there and there's a few lines here. It took me a little while to discover them, but yeah, some really cool stuff. It's a shame there isn't a bigger run up to get onto this one. You can always start at that fence there because that is a hell of a bunny hop gap across there. It would be awesome. Not that I dare do it today, but yeah, really, really cool. I'm just gonna put the camera down for a moment and have a little play here and see if there's anything else I can find. So far I've been testing out the bike on the streets because, well, it is a street trials bike, but I actually probably enjoy riding natural more than I do street at the minute. So I've come to another place I've not been for a few years. This is Pollock Park in the south of Glasgow, and you may recognise this tree here from a few years ago. I think the last time I rode this, it was covered in ice. I was on this Silver Hex, the first ride of that, I think. So yeah, first ride of the yellow bike, back again, and I'm going to see how it copes on a few logs. You won't be able to tell on camera because the exposure has adjusted for how dark it is in here. I'm actually really struggling to see quite clearly. After riding street, it's been really bright sunshine, and in here, yeah, surprisingly dark, and I need my glasses because I'm really short-sighted. I'm actually really struggling with depth perception a little bit in here. But yeah, excuses are excuses. Let's ride this log. Oh, I didn't know whether those tyres were going to grip then, but I'm glad they did. I really wish I had my GoPro on for that. I've been wanting to do that for years, but last time I came, well, the last few times I came, I'm sure some of you remember, there was a pretty sweet den that some kids had built. I didn't really want to destroy it, but yeah, it's gone now. Managed to get the line. That was scary, but it actually went way better than I thought, so excellent. Ah, fantastic. Yay. So here's something really cool. This tree, this wasn't here last time I was here. Gonna be some kind of storm damage. The tree just ends there, it snapped off somewhere. I have no idea where this thing's come from, but it's lying on top of this other tree which fell down years ago and has made the most tech line I've ever seen here. The idea is ride along the old tree and then side up onto the new one. Now the new one is pretty narrow. It's a tech takeoff. It's a narrow landing and it wobbles. I don't have to choose them, do I? I really wish I had my GoPro for this. I think I can do it. Is today the day though? I'll give it a try, but if I don't get it, I'll just have to come back. Right, where's the best angle? Oh, that's a tech setup for that. The good thing is there is a tree that side and that side, so if I do tip, I've got something to catch me. But I reckon I might have to come up 180 pivot so I'm facing that way and then go for it. Oh no! This is actually one reason why I'm really enjoying riding natural, and particularly woodlands with fallen trees. This is such a cool tech setup that some cities might have some pretty cool street riding, but Glasgow certainly doesn't have anything like this in the streets. And I prefer objects rather than tricks, which is why I don't do foot jam tail whips and bar spins, because I'd much rather find something really difficult to ride, something you would never imagine a bike could get to, and then try and figure out how to get my bike to that spot. And this is exactly what I love. It's a perfect puzzle. I've got to try and figure out how to get to the end point. It's a bit like bouldering. You have a problem, you've got to get from point A to point B and figure out how to do it. And it's as much a challenge for your mind as it is for a challenge on your bike, and I absolutely love it. I get a bit bored riding street, but this is right up my street. I'm probably talking way too soon. This is going to drive me mad, I'm sure, and it potentially could even hurt me, in which case I might end up hating it, but I'm just stoked that I've even found it and have the opportunity to try it. This is me all over. Oh no, where's that back tyre going? Oh no! Oh, so close. Just watch the footage back of those last few attempts, and the lighting and the camera angle I chose absolute crap. This is one of the ones where ideally I need to double angle this so you can see the side up and then this big drop, or even better would be another person to come and film and follow it. I also discovered that the lighting is really harsh, that anything that wasn't in the light is just black. Now, as you can probably tell from how much the sun has moved, this has taken me quite some time. So now the sun is actually on the drop, so if I can get to that, hopefully be able to actually see it. And I've changed angle obviously, so yeah, hopefully you can still see the tech side up. Maybe if I get this, I'll go and refilm that. But judging by the number of attempts this is taking, I'm not holding my breath. I may have to leave defeated on this one, but I really hope not. I've been at this for too long to give up. And I'm so gutted I forgot my GoPro, because this is definitely one that a GoPro would be ideal for. Oh dear. Right, come on Ali. So annoying when I can't even ride on a log. Oh, I've been at this for so long, my chronic pain is really starting to kick in now. Insert swear word here. I hate giving up on lines, but I'm gonna give up on this one. I've been at that for hours. I'm exhausted. I'm down to the last bar of battery on my last battery, and the sun is going away, and my chronic neck pain is kicking in, and my anger is starting to take over. One thing I don't often show on videos is just how angry I get if I don't get stuff, and that really tested my patience. But I've had a good 10-15 minutes sitting down, chilling out, and I'm okay now. But yeah, still annoyed I'm giving up on it. I'll be back though, and next time I'll bring a GoPro and I'll get it, and ideally I'll bring someone along who can actually film it for me as well. And I want to make the most of this. I don't want to do this line after all these attempts and then just have it look like crap. So I'll bring someone along and I'll make it look good. I'll tell you what though, this has been some test of the new bike, and one thing I am super impressed with, these tires. I did not think that these Billy Bonkers would be as grippy as they are, but when I rode those rocks I was super impressed then, and then I rode street, I was impressed then, and riding these logs, and to be fair, logs are generally fairly grippy, but still, these tyres are very low profile and they have been so impressive. If you're a 26-inch rider and you want a nice chunky low profile tyre, the 2.25 version is pretty damn sweet. The other thing I've been impressed with are these brakes. Now, I know these brakes work, but I've never run 180mm rotors on a street trials bike before. I thought they might be a little bit underpowered. You can never have too strong brakes for trials, I don't think, but they've actually been really, really good. I've not had a single issue of slipping. I've not lost any confidence with the smaller rotors, and they're not even fully bedded in yet. And by the way, having the tape on the back of the pads, have you noticed how quiet my bike is now? It's awesome. That's worked super well. Did mean the pads rubbed quite a bit to begin with, but they're starting to free up a little bit now, so that is awesome. And I've had no chain slap either, so yeah, my chain tensioner doing its job. It's a good bit of kit there. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. This bike has been awesome. Definitely gonna do some more riding on this. I hope you liked the video. I have a slightly longer version on Patreon, and I'll catch you next week. So have an amazing one. There's loads of people behind the camera now. Take care everyone, have an amazing week. See you later, bye bye.